and with this one we are looking at Melon's No Rain, and I'm pretty pumped for this one. This is one of my favorite songs of all time. So this one is, I kind of, what I wanted to teach with this is we only have two chords that the solo is played over. So we've got, just a 2-chord vamp, and those two chords are the E chord and the D chord. So let's talk about tonality and what we have here. So these are two of our what are called your primary triads, or the chords that really outline a tonality of E Mixolydian. So you've got your 1 and your flat 7. So whenever I see like a vamp like this, I'm thinking usually a couple of things. My first thought is, of course, Mixolydian. And then depending on what kind of a style and groove we're playing in, major pentatonic, since it's a subset of Mixolydian, is also a good go-to thing. And usually you can use what some people will refer to as the major blues scale, which includes that flat third in it. So that's an option as well. Yeah, so now let's maybe talk about the rhythm of the riff that's happening here. So I'll just play the basic idea of the rhythm guitar under the riff. It goes like this. So the idea here with this type of thing is that we're kind of emulating the drums on guitar. The key stuff that the drums are doing, the hits, and the snare type stuff is emulated on guitar. And this is a real common thing. Another song that comes to mind is like Nirvana's Polly, where like the acoustic guitar is kind of like laying down sort of like a drum groove in the absence of drums. But same general idea here. So we're doing the muted strums to sort of mimic snare. And you can use this D chord. I'm opting to do the D chord here just because of the muted strums, and just a little easier to mute a chord that doesn't have any open strings, because you can do it all with the left hand. So that's why I chose this instead of that grip. So anyway, let's maybe talk about some of the compositional stuff with the solo and what's going on there. So I think this solo and this song in general is just a perfect example of how effective and how far a simple just melodic motif can take you. So the motif I'm talking about is the main thing from the song. That idea right there. I mean, that's such a simple thing. Well, when you play something like that with the right tone, the right feel, and the right, rhythmic groove under it, it's gold. There's so many songs that, it's, the motif is kind of what carries the song and what made the song famous. Like another 90s song, or, whatever. Just these simple ideas are just really stick with the listener. So at the beginning of this solo, he is what leads into the solo is the part where the vocals are going escape, and he's just repeating this motif. So that's kind of our lead into the solo. So already, since that motif has proven itself effective earlier, it's going to be effective again. And so that's how the solo begins. And then we have this. So that is the whole first phrase. 2, 3, 4. So it's really melodically simple, and the rhythm just feels really nice, and it just grooves, and it has this little eighth note bounce to it. So, you know, just kind of effective little ideas he's doing in E Mixolydian. Now, something that's interesting that I think makes this solo really cool is that a lot of the times over both the chords, so over both E and D, he's playing off of this note, which is the third of the key, which is so with the E chord it's the third of the chord, but over D it's the the sharp 11. So it's really kind of cool tone to play off of there, and just kind of has that weird kind of mysterious type thing. So that's, I think, one of the things that really makes this solo work. All right, next phrase we have this. 2, 3, 4. So again, kind of playing off of interesting tones here. So it's kind of like this idea, and over E it's the 7th to 6th. Over D it's the root to major 7. So those kind of ideas, like that, just are simple and repeat. It's kind of cool to analyze how they work over the different chords and why they're creating the vibe they create. All right, now the next thing is we have a whole bunch of double stops, and this goes like this. So I'm just going to look at the first 2 bars of the double stop stuff first. And all we have in a triplet rhythm is, so that's 10 and 9. So it goes like that. And then we'll just come to the 9th fret. And then on beat 2 we have this. So that would be 12 and 9. So we have these G sharp and C sharp pedal tones, and again, you know, look at how those function over the chords. Over the first one, you get the kind of getting this major 6 sound. With the next one, we're kind of getting like a major 7 with a sharp 11 type sound, which is, you know, just kind of cool and mysterious. All right, so now the next 2 bars we have this. So here we're moving the notes on the first string, so, and then we're just continuing up the D Mixolydian mode here. All right, so, and then we have this little double stop thing here at the 9th fret. And then we're going to slide out. Alright, so now the next thing is a sequence, which we've talked about a whole lot here. And the sequence is, we're just descending down the scale like that. So we're starting at G sharp. And then ascending back up the scale. So that's a triplet rhythm. Alright, next we have this. So it's kind of a similar idea to some of the licks at the beginning. So he's playing off of suspensions here, and definitely doing it on purpose, like over the E chord. Kind of playing that, you know, like a E sus4 type sound. And then it's interesting, like he kind of resolves that lick up to E, but when it resolves up to E, he's over the D chord at that point. So really interesting note choice over the chords here. And then we have two more phrases left to go. So the second to last is this. So again, so we've got some double stops in here. Over the E, we're playing this double stop, a little vibrato, and then over D, we're getting that one. Then this vibrato, or this double stop has some vibrato on it. Or like, it's almost like a real small bend there. So alright, is that phrase. Now the last thing, our climax, is this really cool triplet bass thing that's almost sequential. So it goes like this. Again. So now slow. 1, 2, triplet, triplet. So just here, just major pentatonic, D major pentatonic, and then so the kind of cool thing about this is that, you know, he's not playing out of the key of E, an E scale. You'd kind of, or maybe like a C sharp minor pentatonic or E major pentatonic type thing is maybe what you would see, but instead we're getting D major pentatonic, and you know, both of those scale options are, I would say, over just this 2-chord vamp, equally effective, and it's just kind of, you know, what you want to say given the time that, you know, the point in the solo. If you're maybe towards the beginning, you can play some of the major pentatonic stuff and it'll sound cool, but I really think towards the climax, the choice that he uses, this D major, B minor pentatonic at the end here, is just a really cool thing. Because, you know, if you analyze the notes in both of them, like, basically, so if you analyze the notes here, what you have over each chord, you have over D, you've got the flat 7, the root, the 9th, and the 4th, which is probably a note you kind of want to not hang out on. But anyway, so you've got a lot of cool consonant chord tones, and over D, of course, you've got all those notes are going to sound great. So yeah, another just a cool thing to think about with scales. So I'll do this slow and about 3/4 speed, and then you will get the full tempo demo. All right, thanks for watching. 1, 2.